Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, Places Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, where I continue to go to the wrong save file, remembering that we are doing new save files now. Star is boss rush. Oh, we haven't done anything as Samson, so that's first priority. But Star is boss rush as well, which is on the list for us. I think I'm gonna unlock, I don't know, I think I'm gonna go through puberty again as I say that. I think I'm gonna unlock, the Lost Last, if possible. Well, second last, because you gotta do the Keeper nonsense as well. But, we got, like, so much on the to-do list still. Don't forget about greed mode. Probably should not have used that, but let's be honest. Who cares, right? You make a minor mistake the first, opening 2 seconds of a Samson run, in which you've already gotten a really, really good spacebar item, combined with the fact that, there's a little extra HP involved as well. I think we're in a relatively safe spot right now. Ooh, be careful here. It's been going pretty well, honestly. I'm feeling slightly rejuvenated by the new save file. People seem interested in it. That's nice for me. To be honest with you, Isaac is like... I mean, there's another analogy people use for this, but... or people use this analogy for, I should say. But Isaac is kind of like pizza. You know, even when it's bad, it's pretty good, except for those episodes which are horrible. Those are some kind of abomination, like you'd find on Survivor. Like, we're gonna feed you a pizza, but the crust is made out of, your family. It's maybe a little bit on the dark side for what I should have done here. But anyway, any pizza that's not a joke pizza. And I'm not talking about a joke pizza like a pizza that has cucumber on it or something. I'm talking about a joke pizza like... it's a challenge, like we blended the ingredients of a... See, the analogy is not holding up that well right now, but even when Isaac's bad, I have a fun time playing it, is what I'm trying to get at. So the fact that it's more enjoyable for other people is good, because I'm somewhat tone deaf to that sort of, that way of thinking about things. I'm always, like, on the baseline. Sometimes people, they accuse me of not being excitable, and that's the case. I'm definitely not, at least in anything but Battlegrounds, I'm not the kind of YouTuber who's like... I actually, like, my instinct is to get quieter here, but I want to shout and be like, oh my god, you freaking killed me, look at this freaking hacker, that's not the kind of guy I am. If that's the sort of stuff you like watching, nothing wrong with it, I am friends with a lot of people who do have that style. Mathis games. Not necessarily true. I watch some of Mathis's videos sometimes. When I've got nothing better to do. And, the point is, this isn't a video about Mathis, because who cares? The point... I'm sorry, okay? All I'm getting at is I'm not that excitable, but it's not because I'm, like, dead on the inside. That might surprise you. I'm just at, like, a relatively baseline, like, 7 out of 10 enjoyment with life to begin with. So genuinely, when people are like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. What do you want to do? They think I'm deflecting the question, but actually, other people have strong preferences about the ways that they want to spend their leisure time. For the most part, I'm relatively, like, copacetic. You want to go to the coffee shop? Sure, let's go. You want to go see a movie? Sure. I mean, I don't really want to see that, but I'll give it a try. It was okay. I had a good time at the theater. Sitting in a nice, comfy chair in the air-conditioned environment. So I find myself, I have to, like, manufacture a certain level of, like, intent sometimes. People will be, well, I mean, it happens all the time. In the relationship shuffle, which is, where do you want to eat, happening from time to time. Where do you want to eat? I don't know. Where do you want to eat? It's gotten to the point where I just have to make something up. I really don't care where I eat. Anytime I get food, I'm a happy camper. So, even though I'm paying for it, I'm still a happy camper. For whatever reason, but... So now I have to make something up. Be like, what do you want to eat? I say, Mexican. Nah. Okay, Japanese. Nah. Okay, what do you want to eat? Thai. There we go. It's just... That's step one of the necessary interaction towards figuring out where we eat. I'm assuming everybody out there knows what I'm talking about. It's a very common situation. I'm like, except when it comes to skydiving and roller coasters, I'm a real-life yes man. The movie with Jim Carrey that everybody tells me is pretty good, but I don't think it's very good because I watched it when I was 21 years old, not when I was 14. At least when it comes to restaurants, I'm a yes man. You want to go eat at, straight up, real restaurant in Vancouver? You want to go eat at Harambe? The West African restaurant? Dude, let's give it a try. I've never eaten it. Let's give it a shot. I've never eaten Ghanaian cuisine. You want to go eat at McDonald's? Okay, I didn't have it yesterday. Let's give it a shot. It's probably not the best habit, but you know what? Let's treat yourself. The chicken McNugget smell is unbelievable. Intoxicating. An aphrodisiac. Aphrodisiacal? It's probably not the real word. I don't think McNugget's aphrodisiac. You ought to know by now. It's a song by Billy Joel. And please don't sue me for all of my money. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. But I'm assuming that there are people out there who share this with me. Basically, anytime I go out to a restaurant, I'm a pretty happy dude, unless it takes, like, 70 minutes for my food to arrive. But I feel like I've got a necessary step in the chain of figuring out where to eat, which is suggesting a place that is either accepted or denied, and then working from there. So we also do not want to become Dark Judas, but I'm super stoked to have Gimpy, at least, and we should go play the Blood Bank some more, because an IV bag might even be a better call than a Book of Revelations. Although, now that I think about it, we want Book of Revelations, because there's a chance to get a 4th level Meat Boy, which is actually an achievement, and an achievement that took me an awful long time to get. Yeah, we do not want IV bag. Well, we sort of want it, but we don't want to, give up what is a pretty good chance to get a 4th level Meat Boy. I can't remember if you need a 4th level Bandage Girl as well, but I suppose we'll find out. I do have strong preferences for movies. That was a false dilemma, the false situation that I created there when I said that, let's go to the movie theater and see something I don't want to see. That's where I get a little, I wouldn't say snobby, but you could not, and I'm not trying to insult anybody, I would rather like talk to the bank about something than go see the new Transformers movie. I'm not saying you would have to pay me, but it would have to be like an unusual situation to get me to see the new Transformers movie. It's not because I think I'm better than the Transformers films, it's because I know I'm better than the Transformers films, and you should be too. I know what you're thinking, NL, the first one is not that bad, and I know you're thinking that I'm about to say it is that bad. But no, you're right, the first one, although I did not enjoy it, was not insulting. I saw the second one in theaters on a whim, and basically did any goodwill. I also saw the first one in theaters, and a doubleheader with that and Live Free or Die Hard, a landmark July at the multiplexes in 2007. The second one, I genuinely think is insulting, and I know it's playing in theaters right now. I'm so happy that although it's still like popular, it's not nearly the juggernaut that it used to be. And instead, for all the talk about, superhero movie fatigue, and I'm not going to go through yet another video talking about superhero movies here, but at least those predominantly are good. Samey? Sure, yeah, but, you got to accept, #1 movie at the multiplex probably is rarely going to be like Anomalisa by Charlie Kaufman. I can get down with that stuff as well, but in terms of like summer films, at least we've had a pretty good track record recently. But again, I digress. What do we got going on in here? Curse of the Tower. How about Curse of the No Thank You? Still got to be polite even when we're rebuking items. PhD is lovely. And it came with bad gas and something's wrong. There's one thing that annoys me about some of the updates that have happened to Isaac. I'm glad that the game has been updated. The dilution of the pill rotation is annoying to me. Just from a design standpoint, I hate that there are so many pills that do basically nothing. Retrovision does nothing. Something's Wrong does nothing. X-Lax does nothing. I know that they do something, but like, it's like when your mom goes, "What are you doing?" And you go, "Nothing." How would you feel if she came back and was like, "Actually, you're respiring right now. You're metabolizing right now." Like, from a functional, meaningful standpoint, we're doing nothing. And Mom, you're being pedantic. I mean, trying to have a conversation with you here, and you're coming over the top with this nonsense about metabolizing, Thought we were on the level here. So second level, Meat Boy, of course. The run is great so far. Not great enough to be happy about taking Ghost Baby, but we're ahead of schedule. Boss Rush is something we could knock out. And really, like, what it comes down to, my friends, is that everything's gonna be fine, fine, fine. Is that song still in the public consciousness? Alanis Morissette, one hand in my pocket. Everyone knows Ironic. Most people know You Oughta Know, which I'll stand by it to this day. Alanis Morissette went full-on mom rock around, like, the Hands Clean era. Look, you don't have to know this stuff unless you're Canadian. Again, we played so much Canadian music up here because legally radio stations and TV stations have to. But anyway, and I understand why, but we're not going to get into that yet again. You Wanna Know, I stand by that as, like, a song that actually rocks. And maybe that makes me, you know, a 34-year-old mother of 3. I got no problems with that, you know? Mothers are some of the strongest people I know, he said without really knowing what it means. And I think it's the perfect example of that adage. I mean, we talked about this in a Battlegrounds episode recently, but it's a perfect example of that adage. You know, you got your whole life to write your debut album, and then, you know, that's why the sophomore slump happens sometimes. You got all these fresh ideas. It takes you, you know, 6 years to write all the songs for whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. And then, I mean, it's okay. I'm not... I know there's a Arctic Monkeys fan contingent now. There's still big fans. Nothing wrong with that. Robert's one of them, for example. Anyway, there's dozens of us. Full health. We could use it, potentially. So Alanis Morissette, your Jagged Little Pill was a landmark, you know? You Oughta Know kind of rocks. Ironic, a little bit of a meme song in this day and age, I suppose, but at the time it was like, whoa. Look at this, it's a song with a story about things that are coincidental. One Hand in My Pocket, nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to think of what else is even on that album. It's not fair to remain. Plus, great karaoke song, good one in Rock Band as well. Alanis, I'm giving it up to you, you know? I'm not saying you've had a hard time of things. I'm pretty sure that you could probably live off Jagged Little Pill residuals for, like, the rest of your life. All I'm saying is I don't think she gets the respect she deserves in today's modern world. You know, Shania still has a place at the table. Thanks to Come On Over being, you know, one of the, like, 11th best-selling albums of all time or something like that. Alanis has been washed away by the sands of time, and I don't think that's okay. She's up there in the holy trinity of Canadian singers from the Canadian female singers from the 1990s and 2000s. Shania Twain, Celine Dion, Alanis Morissette. Back when we were on top of the world. The pre-Simple Plan Sum 41 era. Soundtracking the capturing of shiny ponytails worldwide. Okay, we've been to all the rooms that are likely to have some merit here. Oh, I don't love this, but... Actually, like, having an orbital to fight Ragman is very nice, but... Raw Mega, who is actually Rag Mega, doesn't respond to orbitals that well. Mostly because he's got, like, the force field around him. Makes him a little dangerous. I was dumb. Alright. I'll accept this. Pretty good fight. I don't think we had 5 cents when we came down here, so I'm actually just going to continue to book it. We have a good excuse. We'd like to make Boss Rush. That's on the to-do list for us. If we could get it to happen here. You know what? I am going to talk... No, I'm not going to talk about CanCon. It's one of those things that, you know, it blows people's minds when they hear it. Because if you're in America, there's so much American media that you're like, whoa, isn't that a little nationalistic to have a requirement that your country play a certain percentage of its own music? Yo, we gotta preserve our cultural identity before it, you know, gets just washed over with the American media. We have a healthy representation. We know who Bruno Mars is, but we also know who Tom Cochrane is. You know, life is a highway, I'm gonna ride it all night long. We know who Kanye West is, but we also know who Buck 65 is, and Chaos. Wasn't Chaos, like, a little popular in the United States? Yeah, the one that was like, Trying to get down because you're moving up and down. We got the crabs in the bucket. This room, take it out of the game. Is anyone accepting responsibility for Isaac anymore? Take this room out of the game. I'm going to start a change.org petition. It's a bad room. One of the worst rooms. I have a dream of an Isaac in which there are no rooms with guaranteed damage, or at least damage that's almost impossible to avoid by any factors within one's own control. Alright, we need to... If we're gonna make this a digestible message, we're gonna need to trim that down a little bit. It's a little overly verbose. They've got big words in there. Those words offend me. Okay, this room is bad, and it should feel bad. Alright, there's 100,000 signatures right there. Let's go. Help. I think the progress that we're making is relatively good so far. I like, and people are going to dispute that I'm being serious when I say this. I like that we've lost a little bit on the new save file, and it's not just a steamroll. I got some tweets. Almost everybody, at least that's tweeted me, has been in support of the new save file. Wow. This is what I get. You double down on this room. Almost everybody that's tweeted me has been like, I'm mildly in favor or very much in favor of the new save file. And I appreciate that, without trying to, like, silence dissenting opinions. Because, you know, if the majority of people were not in favor of this, we could easily reverse trajectory, right? I did get some tweets where people were like, it's gonna suck that we're not gonna get any of the cool synergies. We've actually had some runs that were coolly synergistic, like with Jacob's Ladder, for example, on our most recent, or one of our most recent runs. So there's still, like, many cool items in the game and synergies as well. And another person brought this to my attention. The reason there's so many booster pack items showing up is because they're not subject to unlocks. So any cool item that's in a booster pack is actually disproportionately likely to show up on a new save file, because those all come unlocked. Disproportionately likely to show up relative to an item that has to be unlocked, or relative to how often it showed up, you know, pre-new save file, I guess is what I'm trying to suggest. I think that makes enough sense. If we can actually unlock, or get the achievement for having a 4th level Meat Boy right off the bat, I would be so happy. Because that took me freaking forever. It was one of the last things we did in, I think, Afterbirth, not Afterbirth Plus. And then once you get it, it's gone. You don't need to worry about it anymore, but it's so annoying. We don't need that. It's so annoying to have that hanging over your head, because it's almost impossible to will it into existence. Like, I'm trying to remember how Kate did it, because we did some cheesy stuff. I think it was like Nun's Habit, Monster Manuel, and the ability to just, like, regenerate red hearts over and over. Maybe like Scapular, something along these lines, that allowed us to, basically, we found a blood bank and we were able to use, we were able to play it, get charges on Monster Manuel until we got a Bandage Girl and a Meat Boy. But it takes a unique sort of situation to make that happen. It's not the easiest thing to sort of will into existence. So, if we could just get it done, that would be awesome. I don't think we should get our hopes up too high, because I still think at this point it's actually just like a 1/3 chance. Might seem low, but we could end up fighting, with Book of Revelations, we only get 1 floor on the womb with which to fight, yeah, death is the last one, with which to fight death. However, you don't just incentivize death showing up, you also weight it towards conquest showing up, and you weight it towards, ooh. I really thought that was gonna give us the blood bag, because it said it was unlocked, but that's fine. Dude, we got so many spirit hearts, we can afford to go fairly hard on this one. I would love the blood bag. Extra HP is nice, but the speed is also pretty valuable here. Getting consumables out of this either way. Tons of money, but again, we're trying to make it the boss rush as well, so I'm not really interested in maximizing my money gain. I'm mostly interested in trying to make sure this pays out with something, and it didn't. And we didn't get any luck upgrades. That's crazy.
The Hanged Man.
Not the best use of the Hanged Man, but a decent use of it. Anyway, we got 13 damage for this floor. We hit the damage bonus cap like a long time ago on the blood bank, but that's fine. 2020 is beautiful. actually, like, the best item we've gotten thus far. I'm trying to think of what else we can do on this floor to really make life work for us. But, yeah, so when it comes to the Womb 1, I thought it also maybe incentivized, not incentivized, but using Book of Revelations made it so only 3 bosses can show up. Conquest, which is bad, for us at least. Death, which is perfect. Or I think Mr. Fred as well. And I don't know if there's a relative percentage to these, but I think, I wouldn't start counting my chickens, I guess is what I'm trying to suggest here. Now, Illuminated Bulb is a wonderful choice. Especially because we can hold 2 trinkets. But we are going to be using Book of Revelations pretty much all the time it's available. So it's not quite a 10 out of 10 trinket right now. At least in this situation, it's not a 10 out of 10 trinket. So the last step here is try to make boss rush happen. I think it's going to be, you know, relatively likely that it will. Wow, he deflected off the lock just to cost me like another 3 seconds. That is a new level of spitefulness that, if I'm being honest, I respect a great deal. As a spiteful man, I respect that incredibly. Thank you very much. You know what has made me spiteful is driving. I talk about this in a lot of episodes, but I think the human race is going to be better off when self-driving cars become a thing. And maybe there's unforeseen consequences that I can't even imagine at this point, but I do think driving makes us less understanding towards one another. Not because of any, like, fictional concerns. I have time to fight Krampus, so let's give this a shot. Oh, wow, we got negative luck. It is Krampus as well. Because I play all these seeds in advance, of course, to vet them to see if they're going to be any good. Okay, what do we got in here? We want to do it probably no matter what. Tractor beam's pretty solid. Let's give it a shot. No, but, not because, you know, driving causes us to, I don't know, put our interests against our fellow mans. I think it's because I take it a step further. I firmly believe that, human beings are a flawed, organic creature that, technology will eventually fix. Or improve upon, at the very least. What's great is the best times I ever feel about humanity is when I'm the most sequestered from humanity. Of course, there's always, like, uplifting videos and stuff like that where you go, oh, well, this is, you know, my faith in the human race restored. And I'm okay with that kind of stuff, even though it is a little emotionally manipulative from time to time. However, the less I interact with people, the better I feel about humanity. It's just one of those, it's a weird catch-22, right? Generally, at least. The more I have to interact with people, especially in a situation that's, you know, cooperative, the more I'm like, I can't wait for the... I'm sailing away. Let's try this again. I really can't wait for Elon Musk to deprecate our bodies. I trust in technology to free us from the selfishness on the freeway. Okay, this is terrible. Either way, I think that human beings are the best animal. Now, I mean, it's kind of a homer pick, right? Like, I'm rooting for the home team there. But I had a friend in high school, and we were talking about climate change. Because, yeah, even back in, like, 1930 when I was in high school, climate change was, like, a thing. And, more of a thing than it is now, apparently. Either way, I digress. Current events, etc., etc. She was always like, man, human beings are, like, the worst thing that's ever happened to Earth. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, we are pretty sweet. Like, look at the next smartest animal. We're so much more intelligent. I know, like, dolphins, whales, dogs, pigs, etc. are intelligent. But, like, I'll go up against the smartest dolphin in any test of intelligence that we measure. Of course, it's gonna beat me at something involving swimming. If we're talking about, like, pattern recognition, but, like, put me up in an arithmetic test against the smartest gorilla on the planet. I'm telling you, I'll win It's not even 99.9% of the time. I'm gonna win 100% of the time. If it's based on speed, accuracy, you know, consistency, there's no danger. And she's like, yeah, but like the planet might have been better off if just like if we never existed, if just bears existed. It's not why we're no longer friends. Actually, you know, it's a more mundane story. We just kind of fell out after university. We went to different schools. We didn't talk to each other. She's got a kid now. I do not have a kid. There's no mutual interests there, you know. People with kids, they always want to talk about kids. There's nothing wrong with it. I get it, you know. You might be saying you talk about your cats all the time. Well, first off, I'm talking into this microphone like 9 hours a day. I gotta come up with something to talk about. I can't just talk about CanCon for 2 hours again. But do you have anybody with kids on your Facebook page? They can't stop talking about it. One of my friends is he's 30. He has 2 kids. He's the first person in our very close group of friends to have kids. One of them's like 5, and the other one's 3. I don't need to know their names, okay? Not yet. We'll wait and see how this whole thing works out, and then I'll learn their names if it becomes important. Again, the classic Northernlion example: make the people, make yourself the villain of a story, and then turn it around at the end. But anyway, he's always sending us these pictures of his kids, and we don't care. Everybody in the group is like, hey, the first couple of pictures, you're like, that's cool. More pictures past that, you're like, I don't need to see your kids. Send the pictures to your mom. Your mom always is gonna want more pictures of her grandkids. You can send a picture of her grandkids, like, putting their finger in their own butthole and then licking it, and she'd be like, oh my god, that's my grandson. We're programmed to do so. And I don't care. That's just... that kid is competition as far as I'm concerned. In the cutthroat, world of competing for resources. I think I am gonna go Tammy's head now. I want more damage. Especially in situations where we don't get the damage bonus early. But anyway. He takes it a step further sometimes. At least it's kind of stopped now because his kids are older. But sometimes he'd be like, check out this photo. And he'd send us a picture of like his kids in the bathtub. And we're like, stop it! We don't want that! It's like... I'm not saying there's anything gross about it necessarily. I'm just saying I don't want to see it. I don't want to solicit photos of your children... oh, look, he's splashing his sister. And I'm okay, cool, dude. Anyway. I mean, it's different generations, I guess, but certainly I feel bad for the kid, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at here, because I definitely, have gone to family reunions and grandma pulls out the photo album. What an antiquated concept, and goes like, here's a photo of Ryan in the bath, and I'm like, stop showing everybody my dangle. I mean, I don't think it's weird. Well, I mean, it's a little weird, let's be honest, but... at the same time, it's like, remove that photo, nephew. I don't want to see that. Especially, like, that's my dangle, and I don't want to see it. Big things have small beginnings, Michael Fassbender said it best in Prometheus. But either way, I don't want to see that. But definitely don't just send it unprompted to other people as well. It's a little too much. Your parents will always want to see this. This is like... I'm telling you this for your own advice. And I probably won't follow my own advice as well. I see, there are streamers who have kids. They post pictures of their kids. And they're so cute. They're not really that cute. They're cute to you. And that's the way it should be. We actually got our 4th level Meat Boy. I'm super stoked. Mostly because it gives me something else to talk about. Rather than just making myself a villain over and over. But... it's just... dogs. If you got a cute picture of your dog, I always want to see a cute picture of your dog. Cats, same deal. It's got to be like, don't give me those 5 out of 10 photos. Give me the 8s. Send the 5s to, your spouse or something like that. But kids are a totally different story. You can send me photos of your children on Halloween. By the way, as far as I'm concerned, I'll accept no dissent on this topic. There's going to be 2 kinds of people who respond to this. There's going to be people who go, wow, you don't support your friends when they're having kids? What kind of friend are you? Blah, blah, blah. That's, first off, how's high school? Because, trust me, once your friends start pumping out babies and you got to care about all these kids, you're going to start to be a little jaded with it. Again, save your attention for your own child, I think. And then secondly, there's going to be a group of people who are like, I feel you. I'm not saying you shouldn't be having kids. I'm just saying I don't want to see photos and progress reports of them from time to time. Like, my friend, and I genuinely have love for this man. You know, we've been through thick and thin together. Sent us a message. We have like a little chat thread with all of our friends from high school and college, and says, you know, I was watching Star Wars with my kid today. That was the first thought. You're watching The Force Awakens with your 3-year-old? People are getting chopped up, dog. That's a little extreme. And she said, you know, I think Kylo Ren is a bad guy. Isn't that cute? It's not cute. There's a basic level human understanding. I mean, excuse me, Emily. Actually, it's a more complex character than that. You see, no, but I think that's the most mundane story I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm not saying adults should get that level of credit. Like, I'm over here trying to launch virtual rockets in Kerbal Space Program. People are like, this idiot's got his apoapsis, you know, 5 degrees off of the heading that it should be at. Meanwhile, this 3-year-old's getting oodles of credit for recognizing that Kylo Ren is the antagonist in The Force Awakens. It's just, I'm jealous is what it comes down to. My friends, is that everything's gonna be fine, fine, fine. 'Cause I got this win in my pocket, and I'm gonna unlock blood rights. There was a Hush opening, and I missed it. Fighting Baby. Blue Baby. Oh, that gives us a character to play as next time. Blue Womb. Sick. Well, we'll save the Hush for next time, I guess. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I apologize for being a bad friend, and I'll see you next time.